come closer, come closer. It is almost 2025. And with that being said, we are wrapping out 2024. And so I want to wrap this up with the ultimate glow up guide for my single girlies out there. You don't even have to be single to follow this guide, but porque that's where I'm at right now in my stage of life. And I know that some other girlies can relate to that, so I'm just gonna put it that way. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into some tips, some tricks, some things that I want to share with you for your ultimate glow up guide, or for my single girlies. All right, you can just think of this as your single girly bucket list, right? Some things that you can do to enhance your life, enhance your single season, continue your self-actualization journey, as well as glow TF up. Hola, hola, hola a todos. Es tu prima favorita, Bobby here, and welcome back to the Cousins Corner. I'm tu prima favorita, Bobby, and I just like to talk. And today, as you heard in my little intro, I'm gonna be talking about the ultimate glow up guide for my single girlies, or my single girlies bucket list. All right, we're gonna go ahead and hop right into it with my first tip. So the first one is take advantage of solo adventures, y'all. As a viajera myself, somebody who loves to travel, if you know me, you know I travel solo. And one thing about Bobby is gonna go, okay? Whether you're gonna come in or not, Bobby is going to go. So I say maximize on that, okay? And I know for some people it can be a little bit scary, you know, solo traveling, being by yourself. I go to different countries by myself. I like to travel with friends, but I really enjoy maximizing that time with myself. But you don't have to do that. You don't have to go all the way out somewhere else, right? You can solo travel on your own. You can set you up a nice little weekend spa getaway, 2 hours out of town, 20 minutes down the road, 4 hours away, whatever the case may be. Just something to kind of maximize your time. One thing that I will say really helped me during the COVID times, because as much as I like to travel during COVID, I was so scared to get on the planes, y'all. I did not want to get the journeys. So what I did was on the weekends, sometimes I would go sola, sometimes I would go with a friend or like a smaller group of friends, and I would do just like day trips, right? So I have a Google Doc where I have these parks, these lakes, these outside sitios, these outside sites that I really wanted to see or have seen. And I would just list them in a Google Doc. I would list where they were, how far they were, and how much time I needed. If it's somewhere that I had to wake up early in the morning because it was gonna take me a few hours to get out there, or it's gonna take me a few hours to hike it, whatever. I would plan out the time for the day of how much time I needed to get there, be able to experience that, and get myself back home. So I used to do a lot of day trips. I was day tripping like a mofo and having the time of my life, just because I was able to get out and to experience things that really interested me. Now, if you're a girly who's not like me, who doesn't really like to be outside like that, I know some of y'all really just don't like the outside like that. Like me, I like to sweat, I like to climb, I like to jump, I like to be in the water, I like all of that. But I know some of mis primas, y'all not like that, right? And that's totally fine. So if there's something that you want to do, a museum is another thing that you could do. Like I like doing stuff like that as well. So being indoors, going sightseeing, so where you don't necessarily have to get out of your car. Go see, I was gonna say a picture show. I don't know who says picture shows anymore. Go see a movie in the next town. Go to dinner at a small like bar, restaurant, or whatever, like 20 minutes outside of your town. Like there are so many little things that you can do that you can, guys, is like solo travel or whatever, but just to have those experiences with yourself, to maximize that time with yourself while it's still just you. You don't have to consider anybody else's schedule, anybody else's preference. It's just, what do I feel like doing, or what do I want to do this weekend? Let me figure that out. Where haven't I been? Where do I want to go? What's in the budget? What is my vacation time looking like? And just go. And again, if you are not comfortable with going at it sola, you can grab a bestie, grab a close friend, shoot, grab your mama, but go do something that is edifying to you, that is serving to yourself. Get out and see things. You don't need to wait for a partner to go on a vacay. You can take yourself on a vacay. Do you know how many vacays I've been on by myself? Okay, not that many, because I don't call them vacays when I go by myself, but the point still stands. Solo travel. Add that to your bucket list, babes. Add that to your bucket list, mis primas. Tip number two I have is building financial independence, okay? And depending on where you are at in life, that could look a little bit different. If you're a bit younger and you're still financially independent on your parents or your guardian or your caretaker, that's gonna look different than if you're in your 20s or 30s or even 40s and you're pretty much just dependent on yourself. But what you want to do with that is you want to set financial goals. So I don't care if you got an allowance or if you're making a salary, or if you're doing salary with also other streams of income or whatever the case may be. Set financial goals for yourself. How much do you see yourself making by the end of this year or by next month? Short-term goals, long-term goals with your finances. And don't be super vague about it. Like, you want to get very detailed, or as detailed as you can about it, right? Because things could change, your job could change, your situation could change, your source of income could change. But where do you see yourself ultimately in the next however many years with your finances? How much money do you want to save up? How much money do you want to invest? Learn about investments, learn about where can you put your money to make it make money for you, or how can you save your money what's best going to benefit you, or what do you buy that is going to help you to reap the benefits of what you've invested in that. Or even if you're just saving your money for something meaningful, like your dream house, your dream car, your dream trip, that article of clothing that you want. Like, I'm not a type of person that like splurges on like purses and things like that, but if that's something that you want, if that's what your goal is right now, like saving up your money for something meaningful, this not only helps you to be able to, you know, benefit from being able to get that thing that you want that's meaningful, but it's also going to help you for the future. It's also going to teach you how do you budget when you have a goal in mind, when you have a financial goal in mind of how much you want in your savings account by the end of the year, when you have a financial goal in mind of how much you need to go on that cruise that you want to go on, or that girls trip, or that family vacation, or that solo trip, that solo travel that we just talked about. I encourage you to seek information and to explore building that financial independence. Again, you can build that at any level. If you get money any kind of way, I don't care what your situation is, you can build your financial independence in some ways by at least just setting aside a little bit. And I know that that can be a privileged take to have, especially considering like what your situation might be. There might be some situations where you are having to penny pinch, or you are having to use every single part of your paycheck, or whatever the case may be. And this is where I encourage you to either see if there are places where there could be some cutbacks made, where there could be some things that you don't necessarily need right now in the short term, so that you can start saving up that money, even if it's a little bit, even if it's $1 out of each paycheck, like $1, 75 cents, something. And again, I don't want to dismiss the fact that I know that some financial situations for some people are different than others, but even just finding ways of, okay, this might not be a steady stream of income for me, but I know that if I babysit this many times per month, or whatever the case may be, at least one of those times I can take that paycheck and I can put it into a savings account, or I can save it, or I can invest it, or whatever the case may be. I believe that there's always something, there's always somewhere. If you have a goal, if you set that goal, if you set that intention, you will find a way. You will be able to make a way with that intention. So build you some financial independence, do a little bit of more exploring on what it looks like to save, or how you can save or budget, or where you can invest or how to invest. Or again, if there's something meaningful that you want to buy for yourself or that you want to save up to get, start taking those steps towards that. My third tip for mis solteras, mis primas, is to build self-care and wellness rituals, or create self-care and wellness rituals. And when I say that, I don't mean just splurging to go get your nails and toes done, but I'm further thinking into these routine things that you do on the regular to take care of yourself, to promote wellness for yourself. Remember, health is wealth. And if you don't first take care of you, everything else in your life is just gonna fall apart, because you gotta be able to live this life. And the best way you're going to be able to do that is by taking care of yourself. So I don't just mean treating yourself. I don't just mean taking yourself to that nice dinner once a month. I'm talking about creating routines that are going to nurture a healthier mind, that are going to nurture a healthier body, that are going to nurture a healthier being altogether. We're talking about fitness to your soul, to your skincare, to meditation, to therapy. So just to be more specific with these routines, just to give an example, maybe develop a night routine that's going to help you to be successful for the next day. Make sure you have enough time that when you get home in the evening, you have time to kind of wind down, to wind your brain down. You have time to go take your shower. You have time to go do your grooming or your daily grooming, oil your scalp, massage your scalp, moisturize your hair, all of that stuff that you need to do, your final phone checks for the day. Put that phone, set your alarm and put that phone away from you for the rest of the night. Pull out your books or your studies or whatever it is and take that time for yourself. This is just my example of part of my nighttime routine, okay? Because this is steady. And every night might not be the same. Every night you might not be able to do it exactly the same way. Sometimes I get home later, and so my night routine is like, hurry up, get in the shower, take care, wash your face, brush your teeth, put your hair up, go to sleep. And then most days I have it planned out to where, all right, when I get home, this is what I'm gonna do, this is what I'm gonna do to prepare myself. And then after that, I'm on my night routine. I'm on night mode. That phone I already don't have notifications turned on, and my phone has been on silent since 2021, but I'm on night mode. And once I put that phone down, once I do my final check for the evening, that phone goes on the charger after that alarm. Well, the alarm's always set on the charger, across the room, face down, and it's just me. It's just me and me. It's me and my books. It's me and my self-care. It's me and my night routine. It's whatever I gotta do to wind myself down. It's the same thing as far as if you develop a routine of going to therapy. So making sure that if this is the time of your life that is something that you're needing, you're being consistent with that. You're meeting with your therapist on a bi-weekly or weekly basis, or however often that you need. That could be a part of a routine. Another part of your routine could be meditation. Taking time to do it every day, to do it whether it's at some point in the day, or what makes things easier is you have a set time of the day that you have planned for these things. So if you know that you like to meditate before you do anything else in the morning, maybe that alarm needs to go off a couple minutes earlier, even if it's just 10 minutes earlier, so that you can get up, you can get yourself together, you can get yourself in a position so that you can clear your mind, you can take those 10 minutes to meditate, and then you can get up and go about your day. Set that routine and that intention that this is the time that I'm going to do this every day. And if I don't get to do it at this time of day, have a backup time. I got a backup time for my meditations, or a backup time for my reading, or backup time for my journal writings. If I don't get to do it when I come home after the gym, best believe it's gonna happen at some other point throughout the day. And for me, I like to make lists and I like to write things down because I like to check it off. So if I don't get to do it when I intended to do it, it's going in that planner and it's gonna get done before the day ends. And also, don't beat yourself up if you don't make it around to doing that routine thing every single day. Again, some days are going to be different. Some days are going to be more packed. Some days are going to be more stressful. Some days you're just going to feel like you might not have the time. But set those routines so the majority of your days are looking like, I'm taking out that time for my self-care. I'm taking out that time for my own wellness, for my self-wellness, to actualize and set myself up to be a better self in my soltera season. Come on, primas, we got this. We got this. The next tip that I have for you, the next thing that you are going to do or add to your glow up guide in your soltera season is challenging your fear or trying something new. So this could look like taking a cooking class, taking a painting class, learning a new language, or trying something new that you have always hesitated to do. If you are a person who is afraid to go out sola dolo, as I like to say, then maybe you treat yourself to dinner. You try something new by taking yourself out. If you are the type of person who really likes trivias or things like that, go to a trivia night. Go out. There's plenty. Well, I live in Austin, so out here there's plenty of bars that do like different trivia nights, from TV shows to movies to music trivia to science trivia to fiction trivia to book trivia to whatever trivia it is that you're looking for, I promise you Austin has got it. And the place that you live might have it too. So if you're into that, like, search for those different types of things. If you're the type of person who has always wanted to go hike a mountain, or always wanted to go camping somewhere, or always wanted to go take swim lessons, or wanted to take a pottery class, or wanted to go paddleboarding, or whatever the case may be, the world, the options are endless. Get out and go do it. And again, this doesn't mean that you need to go out and do it on your own or alone. If you want to grab a friend, take them with you. If you want to grab your dog, if you want to grab your sister, if you want to grab your mom, like I said earlier on, get out and try something new. Step out of that fearful zone of, oh, I really want to do that, but what if I fail? Or what if it doesn't go the way that I want it to? Or what if I can't do it? What if I've never ridden a bike before and I want to go ride a bike or learn how to ride it and I fall? Go fall, go fail. Like, and then get back up and try it again. The point is, however, to get yourself out of that comfort zone, because you never know what you're gonna find. Some things we're gonna try that are brand new to us and we're gonna be like, I ain't never doing that again. That was so miserable for me. I did not like that at all, but I'm glad that I tried it. Or I'm not glad that I tried it, and I know more about myself now. And some things you're gonna do and you're gonna be like, I am so glad that I did that. I'm so glad that I conquered my fear of doing that. I'm so glad that I tried something new. I may or may not do it again. Like, I am so excited. Like, it could spark a different excitement for life for you. I like to think of, for me, like, the first time that I went parasailing. Now, I was scared. But I was also very excited by it. But I was scared. And the first time that I had been parasailing, I believe I went by myself. I've been several times, y'all. When I tell you, your girl's una viajera, I travel. So I've done the zip lines, I've done the parasailing, the ATVs, all playing with the monkeys, all that stuff. But I just think too, if I would have never allowed myself to experience that, I would not have been able to see the beauty that I was able to withhold with what I was parasailing over, with the ocean that I was parasailing over. I also even think back to the first time that I ever like solo traveled, and had I had let fear keep me down, because trust me, I've kind of always had this thing where I wanted to get away and I wanted to go experience, I wanted to go travel, but I've always had people around me who not necessarily had negative things to say as if that they were trying to discourage me, or at least not on purpose, but people who were just so scared. They were trapped by their own fear, so they've never done it, but I had never let that become something that kept me down. I did not allow that to be something that discouraged me. Yes, I took their, examples into account. I took their stories into account. I took their fears into account, and I was very careful. But had I not ever done it, had I let fear keep me down, I would have never learned how much I love to travel. That's what I will invest in. That is something that's, for me, it's like immeasurable. It's like my feet have walked on grounds that so many people could only imagine and could only have dreamed of going, or so many people are so afraid to go. And had I had let other people's fears, or even my own fears sometimes, keep me from getting out there and experiencing, I wouldn't have had the experiences that I've had. It's the same thing with just going out solo. Like, there are a lot of times where I spend a lot of time by myself. I spend time with people, of course, just because of my profession and my passions and my hobbies and things like that. So I do spend a good amount of time with other people, but I also spend a good amount of time by myself. That's how I'm able to make these videos. But I get out by myself as well. Like, I like to take myself out. That is something that I enjoy doing. I enjoy taking myself out to the dinner. Sometimes I'll go to a bar by myself, or I do a lot of like walks by myself, or as I mentioned before, go hiking by myself, I go on drives by myself, I go on trips by myself. But I just think to just even the little things, as far as like going just out by myself, like going to go for a nice dinner or go to an event or something by myself. Had I let my fear of being alone, or I don't know, being seen as being a loner, or having other people like look at me and like, oh, she's eating by herself, or she's at this comedy show by herself, or whatever the case may be. And y'all, I love going to comedy shows, and I will invite people, but I definitely just go alone. Like I just go because I just enjoy it. But had I let my fear of just being sola, being by myself, of not having anybody by my side, not having any friends to come and enjoy this moment with me, keep me down, I would be in my house all the time. I would not have met so many great people that I have met. I would not have had so many of the great memories that I have been able to achieve. Just all in all, just getting out of that comfort zone and not letting fear guide me, not being guided by fear. And also trying new things. Like at once upon a time, parasailing was new for me. At once upon a time, solo traveling was new for me. At once upon a time, paddle boarding on the lake was new for me. At once upon a time, so many things were new for me. But now it's like I have these experiences and I'm also able to share these with other people. I'm also able to invite my friends to come with me to these events or these outings, or to go hiking, or to go be near the water, or to go on a day trip, or to go out the country, or whatever the case may be, because I have experienced these things. And then also because I'm gonna go anyways. She gonna go anyways. The next tip I have, which is gonna be kind of on the other side of what I was just talking about, of not being afraid to do things sola, is deepening friendships and community involvement. Okay, you can do both. You can do both. Tú puedes hacer los dos. Okay, you can do both. But basically what I mean by that is being intentional with your friendships, with those friendships that deserve you to be intentional with, because you know, let's call it what it is. Some people don't deserve to have the title of friend in your life, but that's another video. Go watch that. Can't call everybody a friend. But deepen those friendships that nurture you. Deepen those friendships that fill your cup. Deepen those friendships with those people that make you feel good about yourself and you make them feel good about themselves. Deepen those friendships by being more intentional and showing up for those people. There is value in nurturing friendships, in nurturing people who nurture you. There's value that you gain. There's value that they gain. There's just value there. There's also value and something to be gained when you deepen your community involvement, when you volunteer, when you join clubs, if it's something that you do on the regular, or something that you do certain times a month, or something that you do when you go back home, you know, to go visit your family over the holidays, whatever the case may be. Giving back to your community, whether it's the community that you live in, the community that you grew up in, the community that you serve, there is something beautiful and magical there. Not only does it fill your cup to know that you're making a change or you're making an impact in other people's lives, it also fills your cup because you learn so much from other people. I work with middle schoolers, you know, my full-time job. If you know me, you know I love my job, my career job. I do all these other cool things, most of them involving like dance and instructing and all of that, but my bread and butter, I love that job so much because one thing that it allows me to do is to pour into the community. It allows me to pour into the students that I went to school with, the students that I grew up with, like the students that I was around. Like I see myself in my students. I have a deep heart for them, for their parents, for the work that I and the organization that I work for, that we do, and the things that we give and pour into our communities. We incite change, we support our students, we support these schools, we support these parents. And I'm not gonna get emotional on camera because I'm not, you're not gonna catch me crying on the internet. But when I do think about it on a deeper level, it makes me so excited and it makes me so emotional because I just love the fact that I get to pour into their lives. I love working with middle school kids. As monstrous as they can be, they are my favorite age group to work with. And the fact that I get to work with them on their social, emotional, and educational learning, like it means the world to me. And if you know me, you kind of know my backstory. Like I've wanted to be a teacher since I was 8 years old. Right? And because of the career path that I chose, because of the organization that I interned with in college, the organization that I currently work for now, your favorite associate director. Yes, put some respect on my name. I was able to see that there were other paths that I could take where I could still serve the same age group of students, but in an even more impactful way. And so I love this job. I love the connections that I build with my students, the relationships that I build with my students, and the families that I serve. And it means so much to me because not only do I get to pour into them, but I learn so much about myself. I learn so much about the world around me. I learn so much about them and their lives and what they go through or what they know. They teach me stuff. Like, it is such a beautiful exchange. So, and then I'm also getting ready to become a mentor. So I'm going to have my own mentee through another organization, not the one that I work for. But I found another organization because I was just like, I love what I do as far as what my job is, but I also want to take it another level and pour into the community, pour into the youth on my own. And so your girl's going to be an official mentor, and I'm gonna have a mentee, and I'm super, super excited. But anyway, I say all that to say, be intentional in deepening those friendships and your community involvement. And if you can't go as far as to, you know, switch your career path or anything like that, or to commit to being like a mentor or something like that, you can also find other little ways to give, right? There are always community service projects that you can become a part of, whether it's on the regular or whether it's just a couple of times out of the year. You can always give to certain shelters, whether it's, you know, homeless shelters, or whether it's places that house or shelter teenagers or whatever your passion is, or even places that houses or shelters animals. So there's different ways that you can give, even just, I don't know, joining along with the organization and like picking up trash for your community, reading stories to elementary school kids. Like, there are a plethora of ways that you can give back to the community you live in. You just have to search for it. And be intentional about it. Like, don't just do it just because Bobby told you to. Like, be intentional about it because you want to make a connection, or because you want to incite change, or because you want to have an impact on somebody else's life and serve something that is bigger than yourself. When you serve something or someone outside of yourself, you get that back 10 times over. One, because the energy you give out is the energy that's going to come back to you. And two, because you're able to learn so much and grow so much within yourself with other people, with serving other people. So I'm going to get off my high horse about that because I could go on and on and on about that all day long. But I did want to give that tip. The next tip that I have for you from me solteras to add to your ultimate glow up guide is dating yourself. So this kind of goes along with the solo tripping. It goes along with getting out of your comfort zone and not being led by fear. But dating yourself is super, super, super important because people are going to treat you, one, how you allow them to treat you, and two, how you treat yourself. And let's face it, some people don't treat themselves very well. Sometimes we don't always treat ourselves very well. So you have to give yourself the love that you desire to receive from somebody else. You are the one who is going to set the standard for how you are loved by someone else, how you are treated by someone else, and how you are taken care of by someone else. Along with that, dating yourself is going to overall build your confidence. It's going to overall enhance your confidence because you're gonna know, this is how I come. Like this is how I'm coming. I treat myself like a princesa, una princesita. That is how I treat myself. So that is how I expect other people to treat me. I treat myself well. I take care of myself. I take myself to the movies. I take myself to dinner. I take myself on trips. I take myself on walks. I take myself on these deep conversations when I'm just kicking it in my living room and just deep diving into my own mind to see, how do I think, how do I move, where do I want to be, how do I want to grow? Like that, to me, in my opinion, that's also a form of dating yourself, going inward and being able to have those conversations and really think about, like, what do I like? What do I want to add to my bucket list? What do I want to do? What goals do I want to set for myself? Where do I see myself? How do I give love? How do I receive love? How am I taking care of myself in this season so that I can know how to accept real and genuine love when someone else comes in to take care of me? Also, sorry if the lighting is like going in and out. I am sitting in front of my patio window doors, whatever you want to call them, and the sun has decided to play peekaboo with me because it loves me. Hey boo, I'm right here. I'm right here. Slacky. But anyway, saying that to say, say that dating yourself builds that confidence, right? If you can stand alone, if you can walk into a room alone, if you can walk into an event alone, if you can take yourself out and treat yourself nicely and love yourself well, all that's gonna do is just exude self-confidence, and it's gonna attract those things to you. So when other people approach you, it's going to attract people who know how to love well, or want to love you well, or see how you love yourself, and they're gonna be inspired to also take care of you, or to also love you, or to also just get to know you. It's like, who is this girl? She showed up sola dola? What? And she just chilling, just having a good time in her own company. Like, I've met so many people that way, and not just guys or suitors or whatever, but even like made friends or connections or network just because I show up alone. I show up as Bobby. I show up by myself. If I'm not enjoying it though, I will leave. I am one to leave. I am one to go. I'm gonna always go if I say I'm gonna go, but I am one to leave. If I get there and the vibes are off, or I'm like, okay, cool, I've had enough, I'm going home. I'm going home to mi casita. I love it here. I'm going home. But just not being afraid to get out there and treat yourself the way that you want to be treated. That's all. Tip number 7, get you some hobbies and some passion projects, girl. Chica, prima. Get you some hobbies or some passion projects if you don't already have them. If you have them, good. If you're still feeling like you got too much idle time on your hands, maybe you need to spruce them up, or dive into them a little bit more, or add some more to that list. Don't overload yourself though. We gotta know when to say no. We gotta know when to calm down. We gotta know when to breathe and when to rest. But make sure that you have some things that you like to do. Honor yourself by doing things that you enjoy doing. These could be creative hobbies or side hustles, if it's like art or starting a business, writing, whatever the case may be. I know for me, if you know me, my friends will tell you that Bob's the Builder is one of the busiest people that they've ever met. Again, I find time to have my downtime, but I also do dive deeply into hobbies and passion projects, right? YouTube, this right here, creating content is one of my passion projects. That's why my TikTok looks the way that it does. There's just a bunch of stuff over there because I have fun with it and I really like doing it, but I also have to make time to do it. Just like these videos, I have fun with it, but I also have to make time doing it. It's a passion project of mine. It's a hobby of mine. Same thing when it comes to the things that I do outside of my full-time job, outside of my career. I love dance, okay? I am an instructor, I am a performer, I do go-go dancing, one-on-ones, event talents, quinceañeras, privates, whatever the case may be. Book me, all of that. Find me at Bob's the Builder Instagram if you, yeah, okay? I choreograph all of that. So teach classes, everything. But that's just one of the things that I do outside of my job that like keep me busy but keep me fulfilled. So when I say like find hobbies and passion projects, you don't want to just go pick up anything. You don't want to just go pick up things just because. Like you might want to go out and try things like, hey, I have a friend that does this, I'm gonna try it. I have a friend that regularly bike rides, I'm gonna go, you know, try bike riding with her. Or I have a friend that regularly goes to run club. I enjoy running, I'm gonna go to run club with her. I have a friend that regularly enjoys this or that. Like, try things, but don't set yourself into things that you're not necessarily passionate about or that you like to do. Figure out what your interests are and go there, because some of these things you can make money from. I make money from dance, okay? I dance a lot and I make money from that, and it is so great to be able to say that I can make money from something that I love so much, so it doesn't feel like a job. Sometimes it can feel like a job because it is a job, but at the same time, it's something that I'm so passionate about. I love being creative. I love it. So it fulfills me at the same time, while it fulfills the clients who book me or the students who take my classes or whatever the case may be. And then it also fulfills my wallet as well. So it's a win-win-win for all of us if you can find something like that. And then even without, like, another hobby that I have is I love writing. I love to write, whether it's just journal writing, whether it's poetry, whether it's haikus, or whether it's just random thoughts, or whether it's scripts for these videos that I like to make, or talking points for these videos that I like to make. I enjoy writing, and I haven't monetized off of that just yet because we're speaking it into the universe, but it is something that I really love doing, and something that I guess circling back to getting out of fear is I want to start sharing my poetry that I've written over the years. I've had that in the back of my mind. That's been something that I wanted to do for a while, and it's like, okay, you're still writing things now, and you have so many things that you've written before. Let's share those, and not necessarily just for monetary gain or monetary value. That'd be great if I can monetize off of that, but just because it's something that I am passionate about and I want to share it to the world. Or maybe I don't want to share it to the world. Maybe it's not something that I share to the world. Maybe it's something that I keep for myself, or that I keep for those closest to me. But whatever the case it is, it's something that I'm also passionate about, and it's something that I also do. It's something that also helps me to continue to explore myself, my mind, my likes, my feelings, and the world around me. So it helps me to just overall become an even more well-rounded person, but a person who really knows themselves, because I know what I like. So get out there and figure out what it is that you like and go do it, is all I'm saying. And then also it helps from keeping you from having an idle mind. It gives you more purpose, more of a sense of belonging, more of a sense of community if you're involved in things that other people are also involved with, where you make friends or you network through it, or maybe it's just things that you do sola dola on your own, but it gives you a bigger sense of purpose because there's this thing that I really enjoy doing that I can pass time doing that helps me to get out of my head